Word.
Since you are also a fitness trainer, how would you say that your disciplines correlate fitness and your faith?
Wowzers, that was a good
that's
question.
a good
Shout out Wyatt Get Fit, right?
Hey, shout out Wyatt Get Fit. Hey, come on, Otis, you see it.
Yeah, seriously. Man, Otis has actually talked a lot about that, and I really like what he says, because if you're not, I mean, fitness comes down to discipline. Like, if I'm being honest, I never want to work out. Like, most of the time, I would say like 80% of the time I don't want to work out. And like, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. Like, I've done bodybuilding shows, like I've done it all and stuff, and it's just like, I know that I have to get up and I have to do it. Like, and I'm not doing it for like myself, but it used to be, but it's like, I want to be able to be healthy for like my kids, my family and stuff like that, and be like a good role model and example to them. So it's, and also like my clients, obviously, but I think it comes down to like, if you develop discipline in one area, it's going to also like carry over to every other area of your life. Because I actually do, this could be like, because I've only been like reading my Bible for like a year and a half, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, I feel like I'm only like a baby Christian, so, but whatever.
That's
No, but
good.
I've been in church since I was 16. Like, I started going by myself. My parents didn't raise me in church and stuff, but I started going when I was 16 by myself. And so where I went, like, I didn't know you're supposed to like read a Bible, and I didn't know you're supposed to pray. I didn't even know what praying was. Like, It was very different where I grew up and stuff. So it's still like, to me, it was necessary. Like, it started me like on some sort of a journey, and like, I just really liked church, and it just seemed like an inspirational message to me, if I'm being honest, back then. But I think that's like developed like the consistency in like every area, because like, I wake up and I read, I wake up and I go to the gym, it's like it's just like your habit. So if you do something in one area, you're going to do that in all other areas, I think. So
yeah. So Dylan mentioned you being a security for a certain individual. Well, what got you into that? Because that's a whole nother field, from fitness to officiating to guarding. Talk to us about that avenue.
Uh-oh.
Without spilling too
Okay. No, it was because of like in Minnesota, so I was in the bodybuilding world. Okay. Like, it's a very small little world up there. And when COVID happened, everything shut down. Like, I couldn't work. Like, the gyms were closed for like a year and a half up there. Were you in Michigan then?
During COVID?
Yeah.
No, I was down here.
Oh, you were, okay.
Yeah.
Praise God. See, you guys had some
Oh,
stuff
all right.
open
No,
down
yeah,
here.
yeah. Big Red, she wasn't playing. Like, she shut it down. Yeah, it was bad, Michigan.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. It was not the most fun time, but I started going crazy because I was like, I couldn't work at all. I couldn't go to the gym. Like, I couldn't even like go. They started shutting down churches. Like, churches was like, they were actually getting shut down. So we couldn't even go to church. So I like didn't have anything to do. I was sitting in an apartment, and I do not do well sitting down. So my friend actually reached out. He was like part of the bodybuilding world, and he was like, hey, like, I have this opportunity to like do security for the president. Like, do you want to like do it with us and stuff? So it was like 5 of like my bodybuilding friends, and we made $850 cash a day, and I was like, we got to go around with
the
them.
earpiece and everything. You was in the suits and all that.
Well, we weren't in suits, but we had to wear like all like black everything, and it was like, so I'm on the Instagram. I'm so scared.
You can dance around if you need to.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is not speaking anything to like any beliefs right now, but it was just like, it was a really cool opportunity, and it was really cool actually, because they wanted like both females on like each side of like the podium, so like we were the ones like on the TV screen, but it was actually like more of like, they prepared us all for it and stuff like that, because it was actually like one of the scariest things I've ever done, because like you would look up and just snipers like were everywhere.
I was about to ask, like, were you scared that something was really
terrified?
Wow.
They told us, so we would get up at like, I don't even know what time. It was like 4 a.m. like at the hotels we would stay at, and like we would have a meeting down in the hotel like lobby, and they would tell us like the first one, I remember them saying, just so you guys know, there's gonna be snipers on all the buildings, so like when you look up, like you'll see all of them, and like we'd go through like the whole process of like what we were supposed to do, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever, like it's not gonna be that bad, And I got there, and then they told me like they wanted me like right next to him, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay. And so like I went there, and I was standing there, and I like looked up the first time, and seriously, like the buildings were like covered. And I was just like, okay, this is real. Like someone could really try to come and like kill us, him, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I started like shaking because I was so scared, and his cameraman actually came by and like he thought I was cold, so he gave me hand warmers, and like I was shaking because I was scared. I wasn't shaking because I was cold. But I was like, it was really cool. It was a really scary like experience because we had a lot of like issues, you know what I'm saying? But like it was just a lot of de-escalating, like a lot of fights, and I had like done security for like a lot of different companies before, so I wasn't new to that part of it, but it was such a bigger scale. And I don't know, it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had though, like traveling like around and like doing that. And
was there ever a situation where you had to like reprehend somebody or like, you know, get physical, like put someone down?
We had 2 women actually like fighting in the thing, and it was like blood like everywhere and stuff. So we had to go and like deal with all that. But most of it was like, because they would go through like the actual like what are they called? You said it earlier, like
Secret Service?
Yeah, Secret Service first, and like so no weapons and stuff would get in, and then they would like come to us. So like by that time they at least didn't have like any of that stuff with them, and like we knew that. But there was like a lot of random things we would have to deal with, like people trying to bring like other types of weapons and stuff in that they like didn't catch. So it was like a lot of dealing with that, but it actually wasn't too bad in that way. But it still was. It was just like a lot of fighting. Everyone was fighting because there would be like people that were protesting and against and for, and just like people acting dumb, you know. So it was a lot of fights. But that's why, like, I don't know, the de-escalation part is like what they were like wanting us to do, and just like getting people to kind of calm down, and you know, we had to
So you guys just all kind of experience de-escalating situations.
Yeah, you're a de-escalator.
Ain't no fights, violence happening with you around. Everybody getting home safe.
Literally.
Gonna be our peacemaker.
Everyone just calm down.
Relax.
okay, you know?
She's up there. Relax.
But they don't want to punch like a female, you know. So like when I was standing in between them, they just would chill. Like they really would. I never got.
Are you saying the line of fire?
That's brave.
Yeah.
They tell you not to do that, but
Look at me.
I never had a bad experience yet. So it was.
Is there any like themes or lessons you learned from that process? Like themes that you saw depending on places you went to and seen, or something that you've taken away from that experience? Like, man, like this, because you know we don't see what you saw.
Yeah.
You're almost seeing behind the scenes what the camera doesn't catch, right? So
Oh
is there
my
any
gosh.
themes that you kind of saw, or like lessons you took away from all that?
Something that transformed your mind.
Definitely number one is like the media is not showing you the truth, like from all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like from all platforms. I quit watching the news like after because I was telling you this. I was telling Jeremiah this. Jay, this.
It's fine. They already know now.
Secrets out.
He's exposed.
So sorry. On the phone, I was telling him because I lived in Minnesota when the George Floyd thing happened, you know?
Okay.
So I was like 5 minutes from it. Like everything was burning down. I had to move to a friend's house because like literally everything was burning down around me. So I went to a friend's house, and the night, like the third did you guys pay attention to a lot of that?
Yeah.
In the news and stuff a little bit. So the third precinct was burning down, right? You guys heard about that in Minneapolis? And so I was there. Like I was watching it happen and stuff. And I was watching I'd go and watch the news, and like my family was watching the news, and what was shown on the news was like a bunch of like black people like destroying the buildings and stuff and like breaking the glass and vandalizing. I was literally there watching it. It was like a bunch of like young white boys, literally. Wow. And I'm not even lying.
Wow.
And it was really, really hard. That's like that. Like that's a little bit different, but it was like right before the security stuff.
Yeah.
And so like in my head before like I started doing the security, I was like, you know, like what they're going to try to show and display is not going to be truth, you know? So it just like, it gave me a different perspective of like, have an open mind to, you know, what they might be trying to show you and like using to kind of get people like to divide, you know? And I always just like ask people questions and like want to know their perspectives instead of like just telling them, you know, because it's like I seen what the media can do. Because like, if I'm being honest, my family at that time was so like, because they were just watching the media, and like they did a great job of showing like
it can
it
just suck
crazy.
you in and make you think something because you hear it all over again. And there's even like studies that say like the more you hear something, whether it's true or not, you will tend to just believe it. So
100%.
That is very
100%. I just think people gotta like think for themselves and just don't like believe everything. Like the media has an agenda, like they want people to divide, and that's ratings. Why
I think people are starting to catch on to that now because some of these platforms are like having to lay people off. They're losing ratings, views. So like people are starting to wake up. I feel.
Now.
Yeah.
Time is up.
That's why you guys got this going. I know what I'm saying. Good, speak the truth in here. You know, unite people.
Yeah, which is good. This is why your perspective is needed because you can share some of those lessons or themes that you've seen in different places and different stories that you have experienced. Because then that helps give people a different mindset. So if they want to go on that journey, then they're able to say, okay, maybe I'll encounter something like this as well. So that's why that perspective is really needed because we can say that. But then when it's somebody like yourself who's lived it and walked it, you can kind of give.
You're more valid.
Yeah.
Just because you actually saying it. We just be like, suspicious. Like, that don't sound right.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't want to bring race and gender and ethnicity and nationality behind it. But God created us all uniquely in his image. And he knew we would face these type of situations. So your image and everything about you and what you've experienced is needed for the perspective that you have. That especially if it's faith-centered and it's from a perspective where you're seeing both sides of it and you're able to make an honest opinion. It's not a bunch of people, they're pushing this Black lives and gender, and it's not a bunch of people saying, these people are this and that. You're able to see like, well, hey, I mean, these people are there, but I saw the root of it. These people, you're able to then have and it's yours. That's your testimony, and can't nobody take it away from you.
Amen. Preach, sir. Preach. That was.
I'm just saying.
Everything you just said.
I'm just saying. Yeah. But I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
So can you also talk about being a business owner? I know you're doing your fitness thing. We know you're G.I. Jane, right? We know that.
Oh, that's her nickname.
You're G.I. Jane, literally.
Okay.
Cool. Haley Jane.
The last person to say that.
Johnson.
Look, G.I. Johnson. G.I. Johnson is listen, y'all better watch out. Okay. You've talked about reffing. You've talked about your G.I. Jane. You've broken through barriers. But apparently you're also a business owner. Like, what can you not do? Right? So she might can do your taxes. So, right?
Oh my goodness.
No.
What is it like being a business owner? Like, what is it like talking to her about it?
It's a blessing. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice for sure. I mean, I was never like planning on even like training or coaching or doing any of that stuff. But I had this girl. She's actually super cool. She's in the army in Israel.
Okay.
Now, so she was 14 when she came up to me at the gym, and she was like, asked me how to do this ab machine. I was like, girl, I've never done an ab machine in my life. Like, I have no idea. Like, I was working at the gym, and then she was like begging me. She's like, can you please train me? And I was like, like, I'm not a trainer. And long story short, I ended up like getting my certifications to train this girl. She has like all the world records in Israel now for powerlifting, like squat, bench, and deadlift. She's super cool. Yeah, she's only 19.
Wow.
But it was like, to the time it takes to like do something like that and like build someone to be able to do something like that, it's a lot, and she would be up texting me in the middle of the night like, I don't have any more sweet potatoes, like what can I sub it out for? And like she was like so it depends on like, it depends on your clientele and stuff, but my business has definitely been a lot of sacrifice, and I thankfully have a lot of friends that are like entrepreneurs now, so they understand the
business side of it.
Yes, and they understand like it's so time consuming, and some of my friends before didn't really quite get that, and like they want to go have fun and go out and do everything. And it's like I can't, I have to work and I got to train or whatever it is, but it's honestly came down to two, just like because I'm an independent contractor when it comes to like football and basketball too. So like all of my work that I do is basically like entrepreneur type of stuff. So it was it's really sacrifice, but it's a blessing though, because you can have a flexible schedule. You can, you can leave and like prioritize like other things if you need to go away for a week and go travel or something like that. But even like my family was in town this whole like last week, and I was like, sorry guys, like I still have to like run my business. If I'm not training my clients, like, they could definitely like you understand like having your own business and stuff. It's like if you don't show up and do it, that's your income. I don't have like a stable set, like this is what you're going to make this week or this month, so it's like, it's just totally dependent on how much work you're willing to put in.
Mm-hmm. How are you improving your officiating skills or your fitness training skills? Like what are ways that you're improving your craft?
Oh man, you guys got so many good questions. I mean, so for like reffing, you go to camps. So like I have a camp in January for football. It's like $1,000 just for the camp, and then you gotta pay for your flight and the stay and all the stuff. So they're expensive, but it's an investment. I've always told people, like, I mentor like some people for basketball and stuff now, but it's like they kind of don't sometimes always understand like the investment is like upfront time and like money and energy and effort and all that stuff. But you go to camps. I read like the rules books like all the time, and I'll go watch like replay. Like there was a play that one of the guys from his league was like questioning and stuff. So like I went back, like watched the video, and like I sent him like explanation like videos of like, you know, why it was what it was. You know, it's just to kind of like educate, but it also like helps educate me and stuff. So I have to take so many tests and stuff for football and basketball all the time, and that's kind of like the educational part. But I'm also like always watching like games online. I just watch or online on TV and stuff, and I just watch the refs. So I try to study like that way and stuff. But with training, I mean, like my long-term goal is just like reffing. Like I don't really have training as like any sort of, it's like not really something I want to do long-term.
Right? It's like on the side.
Yeah. It's a passion. I love helping people, but like I would way rather be like in ministry or something, like way over training, you know? So it is my way of like, it is my ministry right now, you know, like it is my way of like speaking to people. And like, I mean, I have 1 hour with one person and then another hour with another person, you know? So it's like, it's actually really cool. Cause like you guys said, it's my birthday today. And like, I had a bunch of people at my house and they were all talking about how, thank you, how, like they've grown closer to God, like because of me. Apparently it was actually really cool. Cause it's like, it shows you how much, you know, God can use you and like use everyone to bring people closer to him. But like hearing so many people say that, it was just like, okay, like the work that I've done isn't going like towards nothing, you know? It's like hearing my football boss was there today, and he's like, he's 53, and he told me like because of him meeting me 3 years ago that he's actually like been all in with Jesus, like because of his relationship with me and like him getting to know me. I was like, that, it made me cry so hard. It's just like, that's what it's about, you know? So it was just, it's so much bigger than like me training this client or me going to this game to like ref. Like it's not about that for me anymore. And it's just like, how can I have a conversation with someone no matter what I'm doing that's gonna like help them show like the love of Jesus, you know, and like help them want to grow in that relationship with him. So that's right.
That's crazy, because I didn't even think refs were Christians. Like I thought just refs were just, you know what I'm saying? I walked in the church, I was like, I was like, wait, what are you doing here?
He really said that. He's like, there ain't no way that you go to church. That's what he said to me when he seen me at church the first time.
So I can't believe it.
He said that call was from flesh and blood.
I said, she went walking in the street when she made that call.
Oh, that's funny.
And now he's just sitting next to me, and he's just he's enjoying every second.
Yeah. Once I seen it in church, I was like, all right, I guess she all right.
She all right. Thank you.
Yeah. But you can use that as a discipleship in a way, right? Because you're meeting up with them one-on-one. You're able to have those conversations.
Establish relationship.
Exactly. You're able to pray and walk with them. You're able to have that, instead of them going to men trainers, which nothing wrong with men trainers, but from the aforementioned, right? So now you're like, hey, as a woman trainer and I'm a believer, and you're able to put that like in your social media spaces, it's a different look, right? Because, you know, you probably can attest to it, right? The fitness space is so, or just kind of explicit.
Sexualized.
Is there like lessons that you've learned in your refereeing business that you implement in like just your running your business? Like, is there like life lessons that you've learned so now you're even aware of it in your business while you're running it? Or is it like two different sector spaces that?
I mean, I would say I guess a lot of it go hand in hand. Like, I mean, for games, you have to show up so dang early, and I'm not like the most, like, I'll be like a minute early to things, you know, like I'll be on time, I'll be early, but like not an hour early. So like it's definitely made me be better in like being prepared and being on time and just like being organized. Because with reffing, like everything has to be perfect. Like if you mess one thing up, like that's your job, you know, like you don't get there's not like a second chance. Like with basketball and football, it's like one person that's your boss that covers like all the states for college. So it's like if I messed up once, you know, like, so it's made me really be like on top of stuff when it comes like my business of like, okay, I got to be organized, all my clients need their plans and stuff by this time and this day, and like they got to know what they're doing and stuff like that. So it does kind of go hand in hand. I feel like a lot of that too just kind of comes down to like just daily like habits and practices though. Like being like organizational skills is like you could use that for anything, being prepared, being on time, like all that stuff kind of goes like for daily like use too,
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what the most rewarding part of your career is, but you basically said it with your last question. So,
bringing people to Jesus.
yeah, I was like, this is probably the most rewarding. So, how does it even get better than that?
But girl, it wasn't, because I'm telling you, like I was not this person like a year and a half ago. I was not. And I mean, I was always like I was always the same, but not like it had nothing to do with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like this was all like my job, my business, my reffing was like all self-glorifying. Like it was for me. It was not for no one else. Like I just wanted to be the best. I wanted to make it to like the highest level. And it was definitely like nothing about like the kingdom or doing it for him or like his glory or nothing like that. So,
Yeah.
So do you feel like since you became like a Christian, like some of your goals and milestones, have they changed now, or are they pretty still the same? You just have a different perspective on them now?
they've definitely changed. Because I mean, first of all, I think I like idolized my jobs and stuff. It was definitely an idol to me. Like reffing was getting as much. Honestly, if you guys were at church today, the message is about comparison. Okay.
I was there, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And it was like about comparing yourself to like other people and what they have and what you don't have, all that stuff. So like, I mean, I'm not saying this to be like cocky or whatever, but like I'm 26 today and it's like I have a house, I have like my car is paid out, like I have all these things, but like because I've gotten them, like I still felt like I was missing so much. You know what I'm saying? Like that's everyone's goal is like they want to buy a house, they want to buy a car, they want to have all these things. And it's like because I had attained those and I got them, it was always like what's next? You know, it was like I could never be content. And like Philippians 4:13, I literally have that tattooed on my back. I got it tattooed when I was 18. I didn't know what it actually meant, but it's like about being content, like with where you are, like in Jesus, and not like anything to do with this world. And I think that like too often we try to like it's about materialistic things, or like what can we gain or what can we like attain, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it was always for me, my career was the end goal, you know, like once I got to the NBA, once I got to the NFL, like I'd be happy and like everything would be good. But like I've gotten to those levels and I've gotten like a lot of those things I always wanted, and it's like I still didn't have what I felt like I was always like longing for, which was Jesus the whole time, so it's definitely changed. I still want to make it to like that level, but like I just know that like God's, like if that's not God's plan, like I'm also like okay with that, because obviously like his plans are higher and better than mine, like ever will be. So he knows like what's best for me, but I just think he has me like right where he wants me and stuff. And if that's part of it, cool. And if it's not, then like I also need to like know to be content in the season I'm in and where I'm at. So